Every time you water your garden from above, you're paying a tax you never agreed to. Evaporation, runoff, fungal disease, weeds that grow faster than your tomatoes, and that daily, nagging feeling. Did I water enough today? Too much? Too little? There's a different way. It's 4,000 years old. It needs no electricity, no timer, no app. And it works better than almost anything you can buy at a garden center today. Today, I'm walking you through the complete Olla system. How it works, how to set it up in under an hour, and how to use it to go away for a full weekend in July, and come home to plants that are just as strong as when you left. I'll also show you where almost everyone fails, not because of the principle, but because of one single, completely avoidable mistake during installation. That comes in step 2, and it makes all the difference. Why doesn't everyone know about this? One reason: the business model. An Olla system has one critical flaw from the market's perspective. You buy it once. No hoses that crack after 2 summers. No drippers that clog and need replacing. No replacement parts. No annual upgrade. No maintenance contract. Methods that genuinely make you self-sufficient don't get aggressively marketed. That's not a conspiracy theory. It's a simple, straightforward pattern. What generates no recurring revenue quietly disappears from the mainstream, not because it's bad, but because it works too well. This story doesn't start at a hardware store. It starts where water meant survival, in dry summers, on dusty fields, in regions where a bad year meant hunger. Thousands of years ago, people in various parts of the world noticed something simple but decisive. Water placed below the surface doesn't disappear right away. Wind can't steal it. It doesn't just run off. It doesn't water the weeds first. It goes straight to the roots. And then came the idea. An unglazed clay pot, buried next to the plant, filled with water, covered on top. No magic. Just material, soil, and time. This technique appeared independently across different agricultural traditions, in North Africa, the Middle East, China, parts of South America, again and again, because it always answered the same question. How do you water a garden without needing to be there every single day? Here's how it works. Remember this one sentence. It explains everything. Dry soil pulls. Wet soil lets go. When the soil in the root zone dries out, suction builds. That suction draws water through the porous walls of the unglazed clay pot, slowly, steadily, in a controlled way. When the soil already contains enough moisture that suction eases, the flow slows, nearly stops. The system regulates itself based on what the plant actually needs, not on your calendar or your instinct. That's not a trick. That's physics. Let me break the system down into 4 building blocks. The first building block is the pot itself. It has to be unglazed, clay that breathes. It's not a vase, and it's not a flower pot. It's a semi-permeable membrane. Water moves slowly through the clay walls, not as a stream, but as a quiet, steady release. If the pot shines or is glazed, it's essentially waterproof. Then it's just a buried bucket. A regular garden hose waters the surface first. That's where you lose most of it to evaporation before it ever reaches the roots. An Olla works directly in the root zone. That's the entire efficiency advantage, right there. The second building block is the soil. The soil controls the speed of the system. Very dry soil creates strong suction. The pot works harder. Already moist soil creates little suction. After heavy rain, the flow can almost completely stop. If your pot stays full for days at a time, that's not a failure. It usually just means the soil is already adequately supplied. The third building block is the roots. Roots aren't passive. They actively search for moisture. And when they find a consistent, reliable source, they build what you might call a root mantle around the pot. The plant receives steady, deep hydration, no constant swinging between drought stress and waterlogging. That consistency eliminates classic stress responses: blossom drop, bitter cucumbers, cracked tomatoes, premature bolting. The fourth building block is the surface. When you water from above, you turn the soil surface into a moist habitat for weeds and fungal disease. When you water from below, the surface stays relatively dry. Less weed pressure, less fungal stress, less work. You're not watering the garden, you're watering the root zone. Now let's get concrete, and I want to be deliberately specific, because this is exactly where every single "it didn't work for me" story begins. Here's what you need: 1 unglazed terracotta pot, 2 to 5 quarts for 1 to 2 plants, a cork or some silicone for the drainage hole, a cover for the top. A flat stone works perfectly, and a shovel. That's it. No special tools, no kit to assemble. Dig a hole deep enough that only about ½ inch of the rim stays visible above ground. Too much above, heat and evaporation eat your advantage. Too deep, soil falls in. You step on it. You can't locate it anymore. And now the point that almost nobody mentions, and that determines success or failure. Press the soil firmly against the pot. No air gaps, no hollow spaces. 90% of all "my Olla does nothing" cases aren't a principal problem. They're a contact problem. Air insulates. Air breaks the transfer between pot and soil. Without direct, close contact, almost nothing seeps through, no matter how well the system works in theory. The installation order: seal the hole, set the pot, press soil firmly around it, position plants, fill the Olla, cover the top. The lid is not optional. It prevents evaporation from above, keeps mosquitoes out, stops soil from falling in, and keeps the water cooler. In the first week, the pot empties quickly. You're charging the soil. The plant may look unchanged. The roots are just beginning to find the source. Refill daily. Water once, normally from above as well. By week 2, you reduce surface watering. By week 3, you'll feel the difference. Less midday wilting, steadier growth, calmer plants. By month 1, the shift is complete. You're no longer watering the garden. You're refilling reservoirs. In midsummer, every 1 to 3 days. Under normal conditions, every 4 to 7 days. In cool, wet weather, rarely or not at all. The 3 most common mistakes, quick and direct. Glazed pot. Looks great, barely works. Drainage hole left open, then it's a drain, not a system. Top left uncovered. Evaporation, mosquitoes, soil falls in. Quick answers to the most common questions. Frost. Empty the pot at the end of the season. Frozen water expands the clay and can cause it to crack. Seedlings. Water the surface until they're established, then let the Olla take over. Sandy soil. Add mulch on top. Use larger pots. The pot empties faster. Clay-heavy soil. Use more pots, spaced closer together. The moisture zone is smaller. Mosquitoes? Only a problem without a lid. With a lid, not an issue. This isn't just about garden irrigation. It's a different relationship with resources. Instead of more technology, more maintenance, more dependence on equipment and systems, you're building something that works with nature, something that regulates itself, something that needs you less. In a world where summers keep getting hotter, water keeps getting more expensive, and watering restrictions are no longer rare exceptions, exactly these kinds of quiet, self-regulating systems become more valuable, not less. Picture this. You walk into the garden in the evening. The soil on top is dry, clean, quiet. But down below, in the root zone, everything is stable. No drooping leaves, no scrambling, no hoses. That kind of security doesn't need to be loud. It just needs to exist.